Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Major Amit. I'm an executive coach, consultant, and a trainer. And today, let's dive into a topic that every leader, no matter how experienced, has encountered at some point in time. And that's the fear of failure. Now, leadership comes with high expectations, whether you're leading a team of 5 or 500, really doesn't matter. The pressure to succeed is very real. And what happens when this fear of not living up to those expectations starts holding you back? How do you handle it when the fear of failing makes you second guess every decision, or worse, keeps you from even taking a step forward? Now, let's break down what it means to face that fear, where it comes from, and how we can start to overcome it. Now, so first of all, let's recognize that fear of failure is very normal, right? We often think of leaders as confident, decisive, unshakable, right? Yet every leader has doubts and fears, irrespective. Now, the fear of failure isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you care. You care about your role, your team, and the impact you're creating. But if that fear is left unchecked, it can turn into a barrier. It stops you from taking necessary risks, from innovating, and from pushing your team or yourself to reach the next level. So, the first step to overcoming this fear of failure is to accept that it's okay to feel this way and that you're not alone. So, one key approach to managing this fear is to change your perspective on failure itself. Many of us are conditioned to see failure as something negative, a final outcome that marks the end of the line. But what if we saw it as just another part of the learning process? Think about some of the most successful organizations and leaders out there. They've all faced setbacks and failures along the way. In fact, those setbacks have often paved the way for their bigger successes. Leaders like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk didn't just reach the top without failures. They reached it because they learned from each of these failures that they faced. Shifting your mindset from failure is the end to failure is part of growth is powerful. When you see failure as a step in the journey, it becomes less intimidating and more like a tool you can learn from. Now, we also need to talk about self criticism, right? Some of us as leaders, we are often our own toughest critiques. In fact, I was my toughest critique at one point of time. We tend to look at mistakes under a magnifying lens and judge ourselves more harshly than we would judge anyone else. But this self criticism can lead to an unhealthy fear of failure, making you avoid risks altogether. Instead, practice self compassion. Imagine how you would respond if a team member comes to you with a mistake or failure. You wouldn't tear them down. You'd probably encourage them, guide them, and focus on what can be learned from this mistake. Try to extend the same kindness to yourself. The truth is, perfection is unrealistic, and expecting it from yourself sets you up for disappointment. By allowing yourself the grace to make mistakes, you reduce the pressure and can start to see each experience, successful or not, as part of the journey. Another effective strategy is focusing on your long-term vision. When you're scared of failure, we often get trapped in short-term view, worrying about immediate impact of a decision or a mistake. But as a leader, your role is to think bigger. What do you want to accomplish in the next year, in the next 5 years? When you keep your eyes on that larger vision, each smaller setback becomes less overwhelming. It's just a small hurdle in the bigger picture. Staying connected to your long-term goals helps you put failures into a perspective. They're not just the end of the story, they're just a temporary detour. Now, building a strong support network or support system, as we call it, is also essential. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who can offer guidance, who are willing to give honest feedback. It could be a mentor, a peer, or even a team member. Having someone you trust to talk through your fears can be incredibly grounding. They can offer different perspectives, remind you of your strengths, and give constructive insights on how to move forward. Sometimes all you need is an outside voice to remind you that failure isn't the end, it's just part of the entire journey. Now, one practical way to build resilience against fear is starting small. Practice stepping out of your comfort zone in small, manageable ways. Take on minor projects with some risks attached, or try a new approach on an ongoing challenge. Small victories over fear build confidence, and even if it doesn't go as planned, these small experiences make failures less intimidating and allow you to develop strategies to handle bigger risks over time. By gradually facing these fears, you desensitize yourself to the fear of failure, and they start taking risks and they start feeling like a regular part of the process. Now, the crucial part of overcoming failure as a leader is to stay open to feedback. Embrace feedback from your teams, your colleagues, or even your clients for that matter. This might sound risky because it opens you up for criticism, but feedback is an essential tool for growth. When you're open to hearing what's working and what's not, you're less likely to see failure as personal and more as a data you can use to improve. Feedback provides a reality check, helping you understand how others perceive your actions and decisions, and it can guide you towards better approaches in future. Remember, feedback isn't a reflection of your worth as a leader, it's a tool to manage and to make you stronger. Now, let's not forget that as leaders, we set the tone for how failure is perceived within our team. Now, if your team sees that you are paralyzed by fear, they are likely to feel the same way. But if they see you as somebody who embraces challenges, admits mistakes, and learns openly from failures, they'll feel empowered to do the same. Now, creating a culture that views failure as a learning opportunity is one of the best gifts you can give to your team. When people feel safe to take risks, they bring more creativity, innovation, and energy to their work. So lead by example and show your team that failure is simply part of growth. Lastly, take time to celebrate your progress, even small wins. When you acknowledge your achievements, you're reminding yourself that you're capable and resilient. Each time you take a step forward, you're proving that you have what it takes to lead, regardless of the outcome. Celebrate these victories with your team too, and build a culture that values efforts and progress. When you see how far you've come, the fear of failure starts to lose its power over you. In summary, overcoming the fear of failure is about changing your mindset, your perspective, practicing self-compassion, focusing on your vision, building a support system, taking small steps, embracing feedback, and creating a culture of resilience. Remember, fear is natural, but it doesn't have to hold you back. When you confront that fear, you not only grow as a leader, but inspire those around you to do the same. Being a great leader isn't about failing, it's about having the courage to keep going and learning and improving with each step. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, do share and subscribe. Thank you.